everyone. This is Moji Taiwo coming to you from the Immigrant Experience Show. I'm also the author of the book, I Give Because I'm Blessed Because I Give, a chronicle of an immigrant's journey. On this episode of the Tai Show, we're going to be dedicating this episode to the Black History Month in Canada. But before we go into details about that, I would like to give you a little tidbits about the Black people's population in Canada. According to Statistics Canada, in total population of Canada, 3.5% are Black people. And of that 3.5%, Canadian citizens by birth was 44.3%. Immigrants accounted for 52%, and non-permanent residents completed the count with 3.7%. So that is the tidbits for today. I would like to introduce to you our special guest and a very dear sister to me, Mrs. Beatrice Twumasi. Mrs. Tumasi is the owner, manager of Bees Braiding and Hair Extensions and other businesses. She's truly a pioneer and a successful businesswoman. Miss Beatrice is a wife, a mother, and a grandmother of 10 wonderful, wonderful children. So, but I'm not going to give you everything about Miss Beatrice. I will let you hear from her in her own words. Miss Beatrice, please welcome to this episode of the Tai Show. We're very happy to have you.
Well, thank you very much for choosing to interview me today. I'm very pleased to be a part of whatever you do to enhance Black people in Canada, the Black History Month, or anything that will make us stand out and be like everybody else in Canada.
Thank you. Tell us, we want to know about your journey as a successful immigrant in Canada and here in the city of Calgary. How did you come to Canada and when did you come?
Well, I came to Canada in early part of 1974, very long time ago. When I was coming, I was a school teacher and a very good one. I just loved teaching and I had such great students who really admired me. So when I came here, I wanted to do the same thing. So I went to U of C to continue my education, and
U of C being the University of Calgary.
To take education, which I completed in around 1977. So when I finished, I tried to teach in Canada, and it was not easy to get a job at that time. So I found that the only jobs that could take me were small towns, and I really did not like to move to small towns like Cochrane and Airdrie.
Cochrane and Airdrie were very, very small in those days. They are now close to Calgary.
Yeah, and that is where I could get jobs. And so I decided not to take it. But I ended up working with a handicap at a place called Baker Center. And I had some special education which helped me. So I became a staff there and moved to be a supervisor, taking care of handicapped.
Taking care of the handicapped people, we call them special needs now. Needs, yes. And Baker Center was the one by Bonnes, by Bo Park there. Yeah, it was run by the government at the time. Yeah.
So I went there for some time and I started braiding at home just to supplement my income because being from Ghana, that was a natural trade that I had. And at that time, there was hardly anybody to take care of our hair because whenever we went to the salon, it's like people were making comments about, oh, this hair is hard to take care of and we don't know what to do with it. They just didn't know much about Black hair. those days there was hardly that much black people here.
So you saw a niche, you saw a vacuum, you saw a need for us black people.
Yes.
At that time,
time.
they didn't know how to take care of our hair.
So then I decided from then that maybe it would be good to open a salon where at least black people will go to other black people who will not make fun or just complain about how difficult our hair is. So I started my business at that time.
What year was that?
What year was that? 92.
1992, you started your own beauty salon.
Yeah, on Calgary, downtown 17th Avenue, which fortunately became very successful. We had great staff, and at each time I employed anywhere from 5 to 10 people in the salon. And we did everything from relaxer, hair cutting, braiding, dreadlocks, and selling wigs, which was one of the biggest salons, not just black salons, but the biggest salons in Canada.
And I was going to say you were one of the first to introduce weaving to Caucasian.
Yes, yeah, and because I was the only one and we were so big and we were so good at what we do, we ended up having more like Caucasians coming for the hair weaving that we did. So we basically, it started as a black business, but at one point my clientele became like 10% black and 90% of the Caucasian population.
So in your journey, you've mentioned the fact that you couldn't get a job in your profession, even though you were Canadian trained teacher. You couldn't teach.
Right.
You couldn't get a job.
Yes.
And then that opened other opportunities for you. What would you say as a business person, a black business person? What were these challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them?
Well, the biggest challenge I faced was trying to get a loan to start my business. That was hard. I thought, I had a decent amount of money in my account because I was working and I still had a small business going. But, at times I could get a letter in my email saying, "Oh, you are entitled to come for a loan of 100,000 or something." I don't know whether they didn't know who it was. I'll get this letter and I'll go to the bank and they said, "Oh, no, no, it's not for you." So they won't give me this loan. So that was very difficult. So I really had to start everything from the very little savings that we had. So we didn't get a loan to start. I moved a few of the furniture that I could get from my house and made it work that time. Yeah. So, and then when I started, I actually became, I'll say, a blessing not just to black people but to the whole community, because at that time the cosmetology schools in Calgary were also beginning to see there was a need for them to know how to do black hair. So I offered, as a part of giving back to the community, teaching the cosmetology classes.
Which are some of the schools that you taught at?
St. Mary's and Calgary, downtown Bonnes High School. Other schools in the south, can't remember, but there was about 5 or 6 schools that I went, including the cosmetology schools.
Okay, you see how your teaching training it came around and to evolve.
Right.
That's a lesson to our listeners and our viewers, that your initial training never goes to waste.
No, and that's something that I want to expand on, because even though, these days, say braiding has become so popular, I go back home and everybody's like, if you want to go abroad and succeed, learn how to braid. So everybody is learning how to braid. But I really want to emphasize on education. I think I did well to the extent that I did because I had the education behind me. I was not teaching with it, but it really helped me in everything that I did, and everything became so powerful compared to, if you don't have any education and open a business, even in terms of how you handle your taxes and everything. Back home we are not used to maybe doing paperwork when you have businesses, but here you have to do that. And my education really helped me do that, which is what really led to my success story. It wasn't just the braiding, but the fact that I did the proper books to be able to acquire the loans, which they wouldn't give me at first. So then once I started my business and I started doing the paperwork properly in terms of taxes and everything, it was easy to get loans, and that's what boosts you up. And I really like to stress that. I've had people talk to me and who are in my business, and they say, how do you do what you did? Because, like she said, I have other businesses, and these businesses only evolve because of the loans that I get, not the money that I made from the brain.
So you've already led me segue into the other business. Can you tell us a little bit about the other businesses that you run?
We are in real estate. Like, you would get a loan and you buy a house and rent it. And if you are doing well in that, if you are doing the proper books for that business, the bank will keep giving you more and more and more. Yeah. So it's very important, and then you keep buying another one. And that is one of the best ways to actually be up there.
Especially for us immigrants. My sister here sort of graze over the real estate, but it's more expansive than what you said. You're into real estate investment. And it's larger than just one house or one property.
That's right. Yeah, we have apartments and houses, the places that we rent, because from one goes to the other, and everybody knows Calgary, except for lately with the COVID, that real estate just keep going up, and you can't just get real estate. You have to prove that you can afford it, and that's what you get with the papers that you produce to the bank, which is what you get from whatever business you're doing. If you do the proper paperwork, the bank will look at you. Not, sometimes, I know that it was hard for me to get it in the beginning. I had nothing to support it. The bank always wants something to support it. It's not about being a black person or not a black person. It's about
these days anyway. In those days when we first came, it was hard because of your color. But if you can prove yourself and be methodical about your accounting and everything you do. But one thing that I also want to stress is the dedication, the commitment, and the tenacity and the fearlessness that it took you to venture into all those areas and be successful.
And that is, again, that you have to really have that, because the business that I started, that was scary because I bought the building. I bought the building that I operated my business in. And buying it, which I still have, it has also improved my, cash flow, because if I had rented, I would have walked out with nothing. But because I bought it way back in 1992, I bought my building downtown.
And that building is right across from the Sadu Dome, or what do they call it now? The Stampede Ground, the BMO Center. So for anybody in Calgary or anywhere who knows the BMO Center and the Stampede Grounds on 17th Avenue Southeast, the area was rough then, but now it's a gold mine. Yes.
It's even getting better.
Yeah, because of the
all these developments at the BMO, they are changing the whole Stampede outlook and everything. So that was a really, really big challenge that I took to buy the building, and that's how the business was so big, because the building was big. To pay the mortgage on it was not that easy at all. But it helped that it was my own. So even if we were suffering, at least now I sit to enjoy how it's grown and made more money.
Have you retired?
Oh yes, I've retired 3 years ago. I'm just beginning to enjoy retirement.
Enjoy retirement.
Yeah, and go back home often. Just came back. So that is what I'm doing right now.
So if you have any pointer, any advice for any of our young people, new immigrants, not so new immigrants, the Black kids that are born and raised here, what would be, I was going to say one advice, but I know you can't give only one. What are the advice you want to give or share with them?
Like I stated, how education helped me with my business. I just want people to realize that it's not just a business. You can't just say, I want to do this business. I think you have to know that you have to start with your schoolwork. You have to take your education very, very seriously, especially for us. We have to show that we can learn and we can get our degrees and stuff like that. And then we can venture into businesses. Yeah, you don't just jump to think that you do a business and you succeed.
How about people relations? How important is that in business?
Oh, I think that first of all, we have to let our children know that they have to be respectful of the elderly. I feel that sometimes I think that it's lacking here, and we tend to accept that here the kids are brought up different, and but when we came here, we had total respect for each other and for the elderly. So our kids should really learn to be responsible, not just learning to respect each other. And that's what, if you respect your neighbor, it's just like the Bible have the same thing. If you love your neighbor, you respect your neighbor, you won't do certain things to them. And that's what will lead you to be successful in whatever you do. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to speak with my sister, Beatrice. I've known Beatrice since 1978, even though she didn't think that, and I've been following her since that time. You're such a pioneer, and you're one of the people that I've always looked up to and emulate. So I thank you very much for accepting our invitation to speak with you for this special edition of the Black History Month. We're doing very well in the city of Calgary, the province of Alberta, and in the country of Canada. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you too for getting this out there. I'm sure it will help our children, our grandchildren coming up. We need more people to lead the way, to just bring us out. Even sharing stories like this to make the kids know that, we are not all poor, something like that. I think it's good for them to know that they can get somewhere and to see that others have been there, prove to them that yes, we can do it with hard work and taking our education seriously. So thank you very much on behalf of all the kids coming up in Canada.
Thank you. Thank you. So here you have it. We hope that you watch our show, The Thai Show, you subscribe, you like, and you share. Until next time, goodbye for now.